Good evening. I'm Paul. This is Dave, and we're here for Cask Talk to talk about a new beer we haven't tried yet this evening. I myself am a beer enthusiast, and Dave here is a home brewer and a certified beer judge. And tonight we are drinking the Pumking Nitro, beer that came recommended to us from somebody, and we're curious to see how it turns out.
So we're super excited about it. It is a Pumking Nitro Imperial Pumpkin Ale from Southern Tier Brewing Company.
Yes.
I believe they're from the Northeast, kind of all the way on the other side of the country.
And without further ado, we'll get to ripping the tasty 4-pack open. It is a higher alcohol content beer at, what did we say? It was 8.6%.
Yeah, 8.6 alcohol by volumes. Anytime you see Imperial on something, it's usually going to say it's going to be a higher alcohol. So some of the words that you'll kind of look for would be Imperial, Baltic, Double. These are really good words to key into that are going to be usually higher alcohol, very elevated beers.
Trimmed all my nails. Woo!
Ooh, that's the Nitro.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, you can see the Nitro right off the bat, completely different pour. It usually has a Nitro widget inside. I'll have to double check, and that's probably what we're hearing when we're opening it. That pop is infusing it with nitrous, which is laughing gas.
Pretty beer. I'm gonna hit the light over there. It's got a nice color, very copper, a little yellow.
Kind of a nice deep copper color. I'm seeing a really, really moosey head.
Yeah, this head is definitely thick.
This is, I think, a byproduct of the nitrous. Really tiny bubbles. Real tiny bubbles in it. You can see really, really dense head on it.
Probably could float a bottle cap on this head.
For sure.
I definitely smell it better while it was still in the can. It does have a little bit of fruitiness to it. Maybe we should have got paper towels. It's good.
So the nitrous adds this really moosey head to it. You really, drinking through it, you taste how smooth that nitrous really makes it.
It is very smooth.
Really excited about this. This was, I think, a really good decision when it comes to a beer of this style.
We have to thank Ben for the recommendation.
Yeah, thank you, Ben.
Cheers, Ben. It's got a nice flavor. The head's got a good flavor to it. I'm definitely tasting the citrus aspect to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the spices, when you actually get into the taste of this, the actual spices really come through. We did a pumpkin ale, pumpkin porter the other day, and it was a good pumpkin porter.
It was more mild.
Very moderate. Yeah, very mild.
Good. It was very good.
Yeah.
We're not panning in any way.
Yeah,
This is a much stronger flavor to it.
This hits me and says, I'm a pumpkin ale. You know, it really does. You can really taste those pumpkin spices in it. They mention in the character that it has a roasted pecan. I don't know if I'm tasting it, but it says that it's in the flavor profile. So they must have done something with roasting some pecans in it.
I can definitely tell the pumpkin spices are there.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely tell the maltiness is there. and I can definitely feel the bitter from the hops.
The bitterness, I think, we looked into the hops on this, and the type of hops that they chose was the CTZ, which is a Columbus Tomahawk Zeus hop, primarily a bittering hop. So the use of the hop is generally for the purpose of balancing out the sweetness. You can definitely tell the presence. When we were reading up about it, I was a little almost prejudging it a little bit, thinking like, okay, well, they use this hop because they really were just trying to bitter it. They weren't trying to add any sort of flavor, and they were going to let some of these other spices kind of be forward on it. And surprising, I can taste the hops in it.
Yeah, no,
So
they're
does-
definitely present.
Yeah, it has a hop presence to it. Nothing like an IPA, nothing like that. It does have some good alcohol warmth to it.
Yes.
For a beer that's 8.6 alcohol by volume, and this is, the double of a real double of, most beers that are out there, doubling up the alcohol content in it. You can feel a little bit of the warmth more than some other higher alcohol beers. Some of them are able to hide it a little bit more. I think this is because of the lighter body to this, and maybe the nitro, that we're ending up with something that we're actually feeling a little bit more of that alcohol warmth. Great winter beer.
One thing I want to say is with the way the head feels when it hits your face, your mouth, your lips, and with the way the beer has the flavors, the warmth, what have you, this is very reminiscent of a pumpkin pie with whipped cream on it.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely, that was what we were told when we were recommended this, is like pumpkin pie. And I have to say, this very much hits that mark. It's very pleasant. I like it.
Yeah, very pleasant. Certainly a beer that I would be drinking in the cold, in the winter.
Yeah, this is definitely more
This is a
beer.
cold beer that
This-
you're going to want to drink at a
This
special occasion.
is it's September, October is when they have the availability on it. But to be honest, I would see this serving better as like a Thanksgiving or Christmas beer
Yeah.
than I would a Halloween beer.
To put things into perspective, we live in Arizona. Christmas, it's usually about 80 degrees outside
No.
and about, I don't
It's
know,
like
60 at
60.
night.
And at night it can get down to close to freezing in Phoenix.
So
Sometimes
this
you
time of
actually
year,
see snow.
if you look at coming from the Northeast, I mean, they've got snow already at this time of year. So September, October, this would be colder time of year. This would be a good timing to actually be drinking a beer that has this level of alcohol warmth, has this kind of flavor profile. I like it. I'm
this is
thoroughly
good.
impressed.
This is a good beer.
I think there's a lot of really good decision making that went into this, especially the nitro, creating that moussiness.
This is very well done. And like I said, between the creaminess and the smoothness of the head hitting your lips, the mouth feel on this, it's a little thicker. The aftertaste is definitely warmer. I don't have a better way to describe that. But the way the beer tastes, I mean, it is very reminiscent of drinking a pumpkin pie to me. It's great and it's warm. So if I were in a cold place, this would definitely be a beer that I would want to have. It's light. It's not a heavy beer, even though it feels a little thicker in the mouth. But it's fantastic. It's very smooth. It's very crisp. It's very to the point. It hits you, bam, the flavors are there. They're strong. You swallow. It's a little on the dry side. I like my beers on the dry side. He prefers them not so dry, but it's great. I don't have anything bad to say about this.
Yeah, so nice little alcohol warmth, I think, is a really nice addition to it. It almost feels like it's a warm pumpkin pie,
Yes.
Kind of the way that it's set up there. So I think they're really intelligent in regards to how they put this together. Very enjoyable. Certainly enjoy it.
It's Halloween and we got trick or treat, so we'll be right back. All right, now that we're back. One thing too, I don't think this beer would be as good cold. We have it just a little below room temperature when we're drinking it right now. And I think that works really well, mostly because the warmth afterwards would kind of be negated if the beer itself were cold when we drank it.
I personally like beers that are served a little bit more on the warmer side, especially a beer that already has some kind of warmth to it already. And I wouldn't want it to be warm,
No,
but obviously, so a beer that's in, let's say, 60-degree kind of temperature range, I think is really good, especially for an ale. There's a lot of character to this. Like I said, there is some spicy notes, there's some really good pumpkin notes. It really kind of opens up a little bit as it warms up. It's super, super smooth because of the nitro. It's a super smooth type beer just generally.
yeah,
the way they
and
constructed
the
it.
carbonation on it too is really mild, which leans more towards my palate. But I couldn't imagine this beer being a heavier carbonation and it still being good. Like some beers, I just dump off the carbonation because I don't care for it, but sometimes I drink it anyway. This, I would definitely look to pour off the carbonation or get rid of it if it had a stronger presence in the beer.
Just like when you make a pumpkin pie itself, everyone's going to have a different approach in regards to the type of spices that they're using to kind of create the overall flavor profile. This is unique in itself. When you compare it to some of these other pumpkin ales that we've had recently, it's unique. I enjoy it. It's overall great experience.
Yeah, no, this is a fantastic beer. I definitely plan on drinking my other one right here. Maybe I'll finish my first one on camera. Maybe I won't, but that one's going to get consumed by me this evening. Oh, your turn, Dave. So where were we now that we're back? The room temperature beer, and this is definitely, you want it below room temperature. Anything else we need to go over here on this? Oh yes, what is an imperial? One thing we do want to touch on is this is an imperial pumpkin ale. So Dave is going to explain what an imperial actually means because it does mean something.
Okay, so imperial is a descriptor that is used by a lot of companies to describe a higher alcohol beer. So just you'll hear a double bock or a Baltic porter
Or a double IPA.
a double IPA. One of the first places I heard imperial was in a Russian imperial stout, which is a style thoroughly enjoy, highly recommend, and we're going to have to do one of those one day. So this is along those same kind of lines. They're describing something that's higher in alcohol. It's going to be a lot warmer, which fits the style. So I think they did a fantastic job choosing this style, making it an imperial pumpkin ale. I really like a lot of the decision making that they made with
Oh
this.
no, this is definitely a beer you would want, special occasion, maybe one or two beers at a go. You don't really want to spend all evening sucking down, the 4 or 5 of these beers. You'd be hammered. Honestly, if you don't drink a lot and you suck down 4 of these, you'd be drunk. You wouldn't realize it, but you'd be good and drunk.
If you're at a Halloween party, if you're just spending time with friends and you want to bring out something really nice, I think this is a great option. It's not a beer that I was very familiar with previous to this. Really enjoy what they've done here. And that's one of the beauties that I love about beer. I've been a beer drinker, beer enthusiast my entire life. Never got an opportunity to drink this. Thoroughly glad that I got a chance.
This wouldn't have even come on the radar for me if it wasn't recommended. So anybody who wants to recommend anything, please feel free. Please recommend something, because as I said before, if you don't like beer, it's because you haven't tried the right beer. Beer is so many different flavors, so many different drinking experiences, and this is just a perfect example of one of those different flavors, different drinking experiences. We were told that it'd be just like drinking a pumpkin pie, and to be honest, that description is pretty much bang on.
I'm going to put a challenge out there to anyone who's a fan of pumpkin porters or pumpkin ales in any way, pick up Pumking Nitro Imperial Pumpkin Ale. I want to hear your guys' take on this because I was thoroughly impressed. I was thoroughly surprised. I really kind of had a different impression of what this was going to taste like and how this was going to go. I think it's a great seasonal beer. I think at your next party, get a chance to grab one, pick it up, tell me about it, come back and post what your comments were about it. We also want to hear what's your favorite beer? What do you want us to do next? We'd love to get that opportunity to try the next beer that's on the table there.
Yeah,
So
I definitely look forward to trying some of this particular brew house's different flavors too, provided we can find them.
absolutely. So please like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends about the channel. We need your help to do this. Give us some examples of what you want us to cover next for content. We'd love to hear your opinion on that beer. Thank you very much for joining us.
Cheers.
Cheers.